All right. So we're going to talk about the vocabulary in units 12 and 13, some highlights, okay? Let's talk about the verbs here, and what they do is give you the principal parts of the three verbs, the three athematic verbs, didome, histeme, and antitheme, which is on the following page. Along with them, they give you some compounds. So the principal parts are definitely worth looking at. I repeat to you that outside of the present, the aorist, and the aorist, these verbs are quite regular in their formation. So you have future doso. The perfect passive, middle passive is dedomai. The aorist passive is adothane. There's nothing funny about those forms. They're just like everything else you know. And the same goes for histeme, steso, and hestamai is a little bit weird but no, it's not. It's just a normal perfect middle passive participle. And estothane, okay, you've got vowel alternation in the stem, but it's what you would expect it to be when you see it. But let's talk about the compounds of them, okay? So they give you apodidome as a compound verb of didome, and they tell you it means give back or pay or permit, and in the middle it means sell, okay? Give back is what we'd expect from the regular function of apa. There's the preverb, right? It means to do something in return to somebody else. And therefore pay. That's the regular meaning of it. The most regular meaning of it is pay. And the middle sense of it as a verb to sell is also quite common in real Greek, okay? One of the reasons that it seems like we're expending a lot of effort to learn three verbs, but when you start reading real Greek, Belisi, they're everywhere, and there's a huge number of compounds, and they've been around so long that they have very developed meanings. So it's not just didome apa, just give back. It has a whole developed set of meanings and a different middle and stuff like that. So the same thing goes with histeme, where they've given us two compounds. Aphisteme, that's histeme with apa, the preposition that means away, okay, and can mean back. But here has a very specific meaning, which is a weird meaning from a semantic point of view and also from a political point of view, because it's a political word, and it means to cause someone else to revolt.
Right, episteme.
which is not a concept in our political vocabulary, but it's a hugely important thing in Greek city-states. So you make another city-state revolt from the imperialistic power that it's subject to, okay? It sounds strange. It is strange, but it's real, okay? And it's a thing that happens in Greek history. So it's a transitive verb, okay? It takes a direct object. We would think that we wouldn't have such a problem, but the way you say revolt in our sense of the word is with the intransitive forms. Remember, this is a compound of histeme, which in the middle is intransitive, and it has the Old aorist has the intransitive meaning, and that means just revolt in our sense of the word.
Oh, sorry, I'm having technical difficulties.
Oh, we lost it. Oh no, we're back in the loop again.
Oh, there it goes.
We are. Okay.
Sorry.
Phew.
I should probably move that thing though.
Get it out away. Here. So
middle is intransitive.
Middle intransitive. Middle and intransitive second and second aorist are both, in a sense, revolt, which is what we think of as revolt, but which from a Greek point of view is not such a normal use, okay? Make someone else revolt is like, Homer Simpson's campaign slogan, as when he ran for mayor of Springfield, let someone else do it. This kind of cause somebody else to revolt is a real Greek concept. Anyhow. All right, so the other compound of histeme that they've given us is kath histeme. That is a compound of kata plus histeme. And it means to, in the active sense, okay, which is the normal one, it means to appoint someone or to establish an institution. Again, these are social and political terms. These are big-time concepts in Greek daily life. So you appoint somebody to an office, you establish a certain kind of government. This is the verb that means these things, okay? So you can have actually there's a hoi kathestotes. The perfect participle of kathistemi means the people who are in power and stuff like that. So you come across these words all the time, but in the intransitive sense, okay, which again, because it's histemi, it has a pretty active transitive and intransitive sense, just like. Remember, the transitive ones is based on the meaning to make something stand, so it means establish something.
Right.
And then the intransitive sense means for something to exist. It comes to be just a verb of existence.
Right.
Okay, it gets refined out of all the kinds of specializations into something general like that. Okay. This lesson also teaches you the special meaning of the verb kataluo, which means destroy or dissolve something. It's a more common form of luo in real Greek. Let's talk about the compounds of titheme. What they give you in this lesson is ana titheme. So titheme, we said, means put or place, and also means to set something in place. And ana titheme means to set something up, literally, but it has a very specialized meaning, which is to dedicate something to a god, okay? And that's the most common sense of it. So you dedicate a statue, you dedicate a clay pot, you dedicate a clay image of a god or a goddess to the god. That's anatitheme, okay? So we have in English a derivative of this, the English word anathema, which means something that's, in Greek it means a statue that's been dedicated to a god. So it means a pagan god, and when Christianity comes, it becomes anathema, which is something bad. Right? So that's about the history of the world and the advent of Christianity. All right, the other verbs in this lesson, aside from titheme, histeme, and didome, there's only one, I guess. Oh, there are two. There's phileo. This is finally the denominative verb from philos, which means to love someone. And then there's phobeomai, the verb to be afraid, to fear, which we obviously need for fearing clauses. Notice these are both. The first one is just a plain old epsilon contract verb, nothing remarkable about its forms, just like poieo. Phobeomai doesn't have any particularly peculiar forms except that it has aorist passive as its aorist, thing, and it's an epsilon contract deponent verb. Okay. A couple of other things in this lesson are the first word in the lesson, which is a blank. This is such a weird concept. This is a word that has no nominative because it means one another, okay? And you can't have one another be a subject of a sentence, but it can be the object or the indirect object, or the genitive. So we can be friends of one another. They can like one another, and they can do something for one another, right? But you can't be the subject. So this word, alelon, the genitive is alelon, the accusative, the dative is alelus, and the dative is alelois, is just two forms of the word allos mung together. Right? One of them, the first one has the two L's, the second one has only one, okay? And you have the regular rule of the lengthening of the alpha into an eta when you compound. This is a certain kind of very old sort of compounding in Greek. It has this reciprocity idea that's inherent in the two forms of allos in one sentence. Remember those sentences where you have to repeat the sentence. One does one thing, another does another. So here's one word that means one another, and it functions just like that weird notion would in English. Okay. Let's see, what else have we got here? We've got graphaos, clear derivative of the verb grapho. But what's interesting about it is that although it tells you it means writer, it really means a scribe, okay? That is somebody who writes things for other people. And also a painter, because grapho, remember I was talking about this? It means to paint in the sense that you paint vases, that is to fill in spaces with color. Nice concept, but it's a standard word for paint. And then graphike is the noun. What's missing here is techne. Hey, graphike techne is really what it means. So it means the art of writing or of painting. Okay. I think there's more things we can say. The word demiurgos, which means a skilled workman, is the way it translates it. It's really an artisan. Okay, you're fading out of the picture,
Sorry.
Belisi. All right. It means an artisan, and so that comprises healers, singers, people who can, with impunity, okay, in Greek city-states, travel between them. Okay, so it means a person who works the demos, which means the district or the neighborhood, but he or she can work any demos. Okay.
Cool.
Yeah, that's the key idea of it. So these are traveling artisans.
Okay.
Yeah, neat concept. We got another number. We're getting up there. We got 9. We still don't have 1, 2, 3, and 4, but we got 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10 now, I think. Let's see, other words of particular interest. There's the word for than, which is a, just the letter a without a rough breathing and with an accent, okay, with a smooth breathing and an accent. Consonant with that, we've got the adverb malon, that means more, okay, or rather is the limp-wristed British way of doing it, but let's just stick with more, okay. Let's see, we got monos is an adjective, monos, monon, which has lots of cognates in English, like monotone and monotonous and all those kinds of words. The adverb monon means only, but it's an adjective that you use predicatively, like I alone. It comes after nouns in English, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we went home alone is an adjective modifying the subject, but it always comes in the predicate of the sentence, and it does the same thing as that in Greek. Let's see, I think that's pretty much the high points of this lesson. Should we stop there?
Yep.